Welcome to your Leo horoscopes for the last week of March, the 24th through the 30th. Focus continues to be on the mind and how you think. And before we get into that, actually, we're entering the shadow period of the first full Mercury retrograde of the year, which is a full Aries retrograde this time around. So all of our Mercury retrogrades are in fire signs. You know what that means. The next one is a Leo one, unfortunately. When Mercury retrogrades are in fire signs, things tend to get a little bit more aggressive than normal, especially around communication patterns, specifically around things and patterns, communication patterns that are negative patterns, that are really patterns that work against you and not necessarily for you. So expect some things to start coming up around that specifically, especially when you're dealing with situations around relationships. When things just are stagnant and they're frustrating and nothing seems to be changing, it's very easy for us to lash out at it's because they won't change, but we're not necessarily seeing where we might need to make changes also. And that's a lot of the time why these things come up. With focus on the mind and how the mind works, by the end of the week, we move into also focusing on the past, giving us an opportunity to be able to understand where our mindsets come from. Are we utilizing a new mindset that we have created, or are we continuing to use a mindset that was programmed into us and maybe isn't necessarily a mindset that's working for us, if that makes sense? We all go into this space where we fall into this hopeless mentality that no matter which way we see it or how we see it, there is just no possible way for us to move forward, for us to change things, to make them better for us. There's no way for us to improve on our lives or improve on our financial situations or what have you. It's this desperate sort of thought process that becomes very fueled by emotions that are really based on fear. So we get like almost frozen, terrified, and can't make any decisions, can't seem to move forward. So when we have this sort of focus to look at and looking at the past, it gives you this opportunity to understand, is this something that you created and you might want to recreate because it's not working for you? Or are you still holding on to mindsets that were pre-programmed by others in your childhood, by traumatic experiences in your childhood? When you are able to identify that, then you have a choice whether or not you want to continue that pattern, which you already know isn't working, or if you want to reprogram your mindset. And it's kind of crazy, but a lot of things can happen when you're stuck in this "it's never going to get better" mindset. And you would be amazed at the crazy things that happen to keep proving that you need to stay in this "is never going to get better" mindset. So, bottom line here is I really feel with nothing else to influence anything that's going on here for you guys, it does give you an opportunity to see how often these bad, quote unquote, bad things are coming up and how much your own negative mindset might be playing into that. Yes, I will agree that just being happy doesn't fix everything either. Even if you choose to be happy, but that's not what I'm saying here. And I'm saying that just because you choose to be happy or have a positive mindset doesn't mean that money is just going to fall at your feet either. I mean, I so wish, trust me. But no, it doesn't work like that. But what it does do is it takes some of the desperation out. And when you take the desperation out, you get a little bit of a clearer picture. Things don't look quite so bleak, and you actually have a little bit more money to put into it, and you start to make better choices, and then things start to open up and things start to get a little bit easier. Is it a full magic wand that fixes everything and you no longer have bad things happen in your life? No. but you can control the balance of good and bad with your mindset. So that's what I have for you guys this week. It's actually a very powerful moment for you guys to really understand who you are from a very honest place, which is not an easy thing to do. But in my experience, as uncomfortable as it is, I don't think I could have gotten through life without it. Because knowing the choices that I'm making with my own mindset really helps me determine whether I want to continue in these patterns or I want to break them. And sometimes I continue in them for whatever reason. And sometimes I break them and just plow through and move on and don't give it a second thought. Of course, there are some situations that are easier than others. And that's why the bad situations, I pluck away at them every chance I get and then kind of move on. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link in the description of the video. Really appreciate the coffees. You guys are awesome. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and I will see you next week. And in the meantime, you guys, make it a great week. You have the power to control everything in your life. You just have to believe in yourself, and the rest will fall into place. I'll see you guys next week. Make it a great week.